preparing live stream and we are live, but we are just going to wait for my Facebook to start speaking up, and then we will mute that, and then we will start talking. Yeah, so I was successful in doing that before it started. Good evening, everyone, and good morning wherever. I know it's still not morning in many places. Another half an hour, 45 minutes. Generally, I find my international audience coming in to speak, but it's the evening times, and all us mums needed to do something, so we're starting at 5:30. Now, what can I say about our today's guests? Can I really speak about them for just few seconds and just keep shut? No, this can't happen, and I mean, that's why I'm not even trying to say and introduce them. I don't introduce anybody because I always think the stories are theirs. They will tell it in a better way, what their journey has been. But this is so special. This is so special that I don't even want to try because I will start crying. And before that, I want to just read something which I found today. And today's interview, are wondering why there are two of them. It's because they're my village. I'm introducing my village to you here. In Bangalore, this village is the village I relied on. This village is the village that uplifted me. This is the village that we spent all the time. And if I can't speak more because I'm going to get very emotional. So here is something that I really wanted this to bring to my book because it's very integral part of me, and I realized that all mothers definitely need this. Earlier, when kids were born, they already had a village ready. Now we have to create this village, and we're just going to talk about it. But I'll start reading. There's a classic African proverb: "It takes a village to raise a child." That's right, an entire small town. Numerous people fulfilling numerous roles. Yet sometimes today, the village feels miles away. We live far away from family or removed from our closest college friends. Our community of mamas is contained in the threads of comments on our smartphones, but not next door. We try to contain a village's worth of work within ourselves, and it's no wonder that we feel like we are failing sometimes. You are not the strength of 10 women. You were born as just one. One capable woman, one smart woman, but still just one. You in all your passion and hobbies and characters and flaws. So I got my goosebumps dose today to already do this. So here is my village because I was born one smart woman for sure, one woman, but I needed these women to really support me in many ways. And I tried to be the support I could be to them in many ways. So welcome my best friends, my lifelines, Anu, Vishwanathan and Krupa. Anu, why don't you introduce yourself, your journey, first as an achiever till here, and then we'll go on to talking to you about the mother. We'll take on to Krupa then. Go ahead.
Thanks, Shika. Hi, everybody. I'm Anu Vishwanathan. Well, to introduce myself, I was born in Delhi, raised in Bombay, married to a Punjabi, all kinds of cultural potpourri that, can exist in my life. I have a very conventional career, right? So I have, I did the engineering, MBA, the classic Indian formula for having a career. And after that, I was, working in one company for about 11 and a half years. And that's where, Shikha and Krupa's husbands also work. And that's how we got to know each other. That was the way we got introduced to each other. And I was working there for 11 and a half years. And a couple of shifts later, right now, I work for I am an IT professional, and I work for a fantastic company that's based out of Pune. And, I'm a part of a dual career household, extremely strong careers, and both of us love what we do. And we're raising a 7.5-year-old sprightly little boy. And that's a little bit about me.
Krupa, go ahead.
Thank you, Shikha, for having me here. So I am Krupa Shah, Cordeiro, born and raised in Bombay. got married and moved to Gurgaon. Again, started with a conventional career, did my MBA, had a corporate career for about 9 years. And then soon after I conceived my first child, I decided to hit the brakes on the career for a few years. After a lot of soul searching and a second baby, I have, figured out what career 2.0 is going to be. And I think that is my purpose in life. I have found my mission, I have found my purpose. And, that is helping people get better health wise, improving their health. And yeah, so and been in Bangalore for about 5 years now. And I still remember when we were going to move to Bangalore. I didn't want to come here. I didn't know anybody in Bangalore, no family, no friends. And my God, if we had not come here, my life would have been so different, and my life would not have had two of my closest friends and the village that Shikha is talking about. It's been such a rich 5 years thanks to you too, and all our kids
Yeah.
and families together.
Yeah, the feeling is mutual. I'm really trying not to cry because when I left Bangalore, we cried so much that I think I can still hear the tears and those are loud. Like I think everybody in the hotel was thinking, I don't know what is wrong with these women who are just standing in the reception and crying like crazy. Our kids also thought, why were they crying? But to moving on to the fact that why I really want this book, because I just read, right? We're still one woman. We're expected to, we can't fulfill what so many people in a village could do or big joint families could do. And there's so much burnout happening. There's so much burnout happening. There's so much guilt. There's so much juggle because, like, we don't want our children to miss out to anything. So we want to be everyone, but we can't be, right? And hence, whatever happens to us in trying to fit in almost, if not 100, but at least 20, 30 people which could have raised our child together into this one woman here, or maybe two parents together, just like trying to just figure it out to do it, we can't be. And Krupa, sorry, Anu and us, like we're totally different. Like I also took, I still had my career off and on because mine was photography. I could carry my child. I could do a lot of things. So Krupa had taken a total, backseat at that time till the younger one really, and now she's back, and I'm so glad she's back. And Anu constantly juggled. So we had three different women in trying to figure this whole thing out, and then we met. And I don't know how it happened. Like I don't know a day or any place or something that happened that it all came together. Our kids were all same age. Everything was happening. The second time also, me and Krupa became pregnant together, which was a shock of my life also. Just like I'm going and telling them like I'm also pregnant. So to move on, let's start with Anu. Let's start with Anu because I think I've not spoken to too many women till now with this juggle that they do, and Anu does a great job of not only, I will not call it a juggling. She is absolutely in place a lot of times, even if it's hard for her, but she figures it out somewhere and gets the flow back, and is raising a beautiful boy amongst us. So Krupa, Anu, tell me, like, this whole corporate world, you meet so many women and you are for women and you're always supporting women. What do you feel? What is this juggle? Why is, like, women are still very guilty but they keep doing it? And does that affect this whole self-image? We don't want to be in front of the camera, we don't want to show up, in spite of the fact to get ready every day for what goes on, what's the chatter that goes on every morning?
See, there's a lot, right? I mean, there's a lot that's going on, right? See, when you think of workplace, right? At the beginning, there's a lot of mental pressure that we women put on ourselves, right? To prove a point. To prove a point to say that, despite me being pregnant or despite me having an infant, right? I want to show up exactly the way I was showing up before any of that happened. And it's very self-inflicted, it's very self-inflicted. And somewhere I think it is not unfairly self-inflicted because the world has sort of nudged us to say that, yeah, one fine day you will be pregnant and you will opt out of this race and you will not be as productive or you will not be as valuable to the company. And so, so we keep pressurizing ourselves, and time and again, be it myself or, the women I meet as a part of my my career, right? I see when they're expecting, they really try to go above and beyond. They're not, even at the cost of their health, they're pushing themselves hard. But I think it's a matter of time, because what's happened traditionally is that there have been a lot of men in the senior positions, right? And so men did not understand what was going on in the bodies of these women, in the minds of these women, the challenges on a daily basis. And so, the corporate world was not ready to empathize or care for a woman in who's going through that journey, right? But now when you step back, you see a lot of women leaders. And you know this, Shikha, that whenever I see a place or go to a place where I see women in leadership, right, it charges me up, because the environment is empathetic. The environment understands that, that life is a wholesome experience. Life is not one thing versus the other. It's about how well you do, a lot of things, right? And so for me, as I was, I think, I ran the corporate race, right? Like my first 5 years of my career were a mad race, right? I was proving to the world, I was proving to myself that I'm good and I can climb the ladder fast. And I was, right? And then I had a child, and I realized I was not climbing as fast as, all of my peers, people who climbed the same ladder with me.
Right.
So for me, that led to a lot of soul searching. That led to a lot of going inwards, right? And figuring out for myself that what's my identity, right? Am I going to draw my identity out of a career, or am I going to draw my identity out of being a mother, or am I going to draw my identity out of, that wholesome experience, right? So I think different women go through that whole soul searching at different points in their lives, and and there are different triggers for that soul searching. But the truth about it is, when it happens, right, and when you go inwards versus outwards, right? The outward world is saying go climb the ladder. The outward world is saying go get those degrees, go make, a 6-figure salary or a 7-figure salary, right? The world is pushing you towards something. But when you go inwards, right, you figure out the math. You figure out as to what is it that you're really trying to optimize to give you yourself joy. So for me, the chatter on a daily basis is insane, right? It's like classes happening on one side, my meetings on one side, my husband meeting on one side, and all of that mad balance is happening. But the fact is that the purpose is very clear, that, what I'm doing, I'm doing it to lead a wholesome life, and wholesome as per my definitions and not the world's definitions, right? So that's where my head is at.
Yeah, but and it's like, because I want to talk to a lot of corporate moms as well now here when you're sitting here. Um, I mean, I do see this, that this all this achievement, there's all this, and I am going to go, like, I keep going spontaneous, and some things keep coming into my mind. So that's why I'm saying this, that you know there is so much rising happening, but there's so much fall at the same time happening, and that is a lot for sometimes women to just like keep carrying this, like every morning they get up to rise, every night they fall, and they fall very deep, and that is so stark every day, especially for a corporate working woman, that like for sometimes somebody like me, I always, like, I wondered, I worried about you, I wondered that how much can one do, this rise and this fall, and this rise and this fall, and that as like I get goosebumps. But I've had conversations with you when you come to the park, you're frustrated, totally, God, what the hell do I do, and like there are times we just want some time for ourselves, and we're just, and that does not say that you don't like your children, you don't want to do it. But especially for a corporate woman, there's a rise and there's a fall, which is like so much every single day. And then on top of it, we just feel we're like failures, and we're still not succeeding. This is also not we've done, this is also he doesn't know this also. How do we catch up with this? How do we put more? How do I get more support for him? This is such a juggle, and COVID has made it even worse on another level. So I feel that will affect women very soon, and that's the pulse I'm trying to understand for mothers in the corporate world as well. That um, how do you think one can bring herself to this point? What steps will she have to take to bring her to this point, that the fall and the rise is not so stark every, like, every single day. I've seen you And it's not that you, and like, all this while in the interviews, I've been saying that a lot of moms go down and then they stay there for a very, very long. And it takes a lot of time for them to come back. But you do it on everyday basis. Go up, go down, go up, go down, go up, go down, go up, go down. I'm like, and it's like, it's not coming out of judgment. It's just out of a lot of love. No, stop, like, how will you do it? How are you managing? How's your body taking it? How's the system taking it? And it worried me a lot. And being your village, I was just like, how do I embrace Kabir? Send Kabir to my house, doesn't matter. Let him come, leave him, spend time with Maru, do whatever. Like, just leave him back, because even that, like, to the extent I actually ended up gifting you two cups to sit down and say, have a cup of tea together, you know? Like, I know what you're going through. I know these ups and downs. And at least, like, I'm giving you two cups and I'll take Kabir away. I did with Krupa. I said, give the kids to me. Because for me, it was not such a up, down, up, down, up. Not honestly, it wasn't. But just so, where does this woman find herself that she can balance? What does she have to do to figure this out? That everything,
The,
the gap is there.
the thing is that, it's about fulfillment, right? At the end of the day, everything that we do is about fulfillment.
Right.
Even on a daily basis, if I went through ups and downs, right, the reason that I probably did not, walk away from that corporate life is because it gives me a certain amount of fulfillment, right? The corporate life in its ways, right? There are things that lift you up. There are things that, really put you down. There are stresses, there are pressures, right? But the fact is that when the reason so many of us stay in it is because there is an aspect of fulfillment, right? Otherwise, trust me, if that wasn't there, right? Honestly, a lot of us would have walked off, right? If for some of us it is, intellectual fulfillment. For some of us it is, the fact that you can help some people along in their journeys, right? And so different people find, that fulfillment in different ways. The truth about it is that, there are some environments that have more ups than downs, and there are some environments that give you downs on a daily basis, right? What we women find it difficult to do is that even if it's an environment that's giving you a lot of downs on an ongoing basis, right? We try to fight it out. We try to hang in there and see if we can manage it. And it becomes another challenge in our life, right? But now today, with so much of conversation around mental health and mental wellness and your overall well-being, your happiness, right? I think slowly it is, I think women, men, everybody, the world is getting to a point where people are understanding that it is okay, that even if your purpose is getting fulfilled in a certain place or manner, it is okay to walk away. It is okay, because somewhere you are not happy, somewhere it's exhausting you, somewhere the lows are more than the highs, and so it's okay to pause and say that no, this is not for me, right? And you've seen me through those phases where I've, there was a time when the place I was in wasn't for me, right? And there were more downs than ups, right? But there were ups, there were fulfillments, because of which I didn't necessarily walk away from it, right? But it's that purpose that doesn't let you give up, right? And so I think it's a matter of stepping back at some point. It's a function of that self realization or self value, as well as on the other side understanding realistically what are the opportunities out there, right? Because both have to meet for you to really go to your next step, find that happiness, find that fulfillment, as well as find your peace, right? Without compromising on your peace. So people don't take ups and downs, right? Everybody, people don't take ups and downs without there being some reason to take it, right? But at some point, right, it's important to start valuing your sanity, your peace of mind, your mental wellness, right, and your happiness, and take that call on maybe shifting that juggle, right, shifting it to a more equitable balance, right? And we've all gone through this. We've all gone through this in different phases of what we've done, right?
Right. And before that, I think Swati, Yash's mother, is here. She thinks the sound is not clear. Do you have a phone close by?
Yeah.
You have to switch it off probably. The Zoom sometimes just keeps picking up. So it's coming. I can hear you clearly, but probably
You
Facebook
can? Okay.
things. It's in a little
Put
haze.
my phone away and I'll get closer.
Yeah, yeah, come closer.
Yeah.
So before I go on to Krupa, is where I always just want to say that whatever you've just said, it also is because you are very unique in trying to approach this thing. You know, you've sorted it out with a lot of trouble, with a lot of self. This thing, it's taken a lot out of you to even come to this point where you can sort it out. And you used to say that I'm zen about it. If I take it's gone. It's not going to have like it's nothing is going to really go off me because I'll find something else or I will do something else or something will come. If it's not happening, it's not happening. Yes, I want to strive for it. Yes, I want to go for it. Yes, I want to achieve it. But for some reason, it takes away my peace. I will leave it. And that is the zen that I think most women. That's the gap I was trying to tell you that when it is so much, um, how do you because the ripple effect on our children of seeing your mother go this all the time, which most mothers are totally going out of control, because neither they can be here fully, neither they can be here fully, and on top of it, this ups down going every single day, every morning, getting up saying, I'm in control, I'm in control, and after 20 minutes they're screaming, shouting away on everybody because they're just not in control. And that's the reality of the situation with mothers because suddenly they're delayed, suddenly they have to leave, the meetings have started. So I compliment you on the fact that you have solved it, at a very zen level for yourself, and of course, family, and then of course the village in the last 5 years has supported you through that. And I think my Shaurya is here, and suddenly think, oh, these are known faces, and this is not live, and he will definitely try to live in. Shaurya, we are still live, so you can't come in. Suddenly he sees some familiar faces, he'll try to think that, oh, this is not a serious thing. I think my mother's friends are here. Yeah, he's gone. So that said, I want to move on to Krupa. And I want to move on to Krupa because Krupa and I have had conversations on bus, like standing on the bus stand, because we got pregnant at the same time, the little babies, standing with the thing, figuring it out. And Krupa has had her share of ups and downs, but being all three of us being so different, we've dealt it very differently. I've always dealt by saying, it doesn't matter, yeah, something will come in, it's okay, let it be, it's just chaotic right now. Krupa has probably dealt with it very silently, saying there's no point talking about it. You have dealt with it by saying, I have to do, this is fulfillment. We just keep giving each other these things, but fulfillment is there also, like, let's just forget about what's happening into my head, on my heart. Oh, Krupa will say this, like, what's point of talking about it when I don't even know what is happening to me? Like, she will be like that. So Krupa, your journey, and from coming into a corporate, and then you love studying, and that shows that you always wanted to do something, right? That studying all the time, learning, going on, saying these courses. And I remember, I think I was secretly studying, secretly, not like as a secret, but I just thought I was studying, and there was not a big deal. And you were studying, and one fine day, there was Ryan, and he's like, "What? You know Ryan?" I also know Ryan. I'm like, how do you know Ryan? And like, in India, not too many people know Ryan. How do you know Ryan? So she was very shocked that I'm doing these like courses, and how does Shikha know Ryan as this course? And then that's how we hit it off, that we had a lot of common things that we were doing, but we both didn't know about it, because probably I was just starting at it. Krupa had already been mastering it in different ways in social media. So Krupa, like, from there to that journey, but today, like for me, the achievement that I absolutely share with you today as a village is when you say, Shikha, I know your interview is there, but I have to just finish this plant-based seminar before, and then I will come in. For me, it was some like a star on my shoulder, because I'm like, okay, fine, absolutely, I can wait for you for half an hour more, because I want that to happen for you. I've always wanted it. I've always like praised it. And now I think the sounds are okay. So Krupa, let's talk about you. Yeah, and what has this journey been like for you?
For me, it's been a really long journey to.
I can't hear you, Krupa.
Can you hear me now? One second, I'll keep my phone away.
Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
yeah, yeah.
For me, it's been a really long journey to get where I've got here. So I started the conventional way, like I said. And I think very early on, I realized while I was being conceived, Rishi, I realized that corporate life is not so much in alignment with, what the vision I have of raising my child, especially the early years.
Yeah.
So I had always, I think before I even became a mother, I always had this in mind that, for the early years, I want to be fully present.
Right.
And that's when I decided to take a break. I mean, I had a very successful corporate career and I was enjoying the work that I was doing, but it was just not in alignment with my vision of raising a child.
Right.
But I had also, part of me also thought that after those early years, I will get back, and corporate life is what I knew. So that is where I was trying to get back to. But now I realize, like, after these years, that probably my heart was not in it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was doing it because that's all I knew, and I was doing it because that's what I had seen so many women do, like, who would take a break and who had a corporate career similar to mine. So I thought, like, I was measuring myself, my career, on a conventional yardstick. And that's when I had a lot of soul searching. I mean, I've broken down in front of both of you. We've had multiple long conversations in the park about this, and gradually I've come to a point where I have learned to accept that my decisions can't be measured against a conventional yardstick. There are times when I was questioning, when I was at home, where I was solely taking care of the kids, and what am I doing at the end of the day? What do I have to show for it? But there are things that you can't, like, it's intangible, and the value comes over years and years, over decades of, like, you don't see the result that very day, like I used to see when I was working.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of turmoil to figure out, uh, what is it, like, say, if corporate life is not something that I would want to get back to, then what is it, like, what is my purpose? And coincidentally, a couple of things happened around the same time. Soon after my daughter was born, we had a few, like, when I was pregnant, there was a health issue, and my husband had some health concerns, and we started, we went on this plant-based journey, and thanks to Shikha, who introduced us to this path.
Just your village. Just your village. There's no thanks here.
And I've
This is
gone, like,
your village.
deeper into it, and I have thoroughly enjoyed learning more about this. Like you said, I love to learn. I think till I'm, even when I'm 99, I'll be sitting with a book and learning something new. It gives me a lot of joy. Whether something comes out of the learning or not is immaterial. The learning itself is pure joy for me. So that happened, and also soon after my daughter was born, I lost a very close friend of mine. So that kind of makes you question, what are you doing with your life? And the whole question of, what is my purpose, what is going to be my legacy, what am I going to leave behind? And luckily, thankfully, I started seeing the light where both these things converged. Like, my the health healing journey, the learning, the realization that if it has helped me, it can help thousands and thousands of people, and I can be the one who can help them get to their best health and to pass on this to the next generation. So, that question of legacy, that question of, what am I going to leave behind, plus what am I going to do, like, career wise, career 2.0, that was a big question. So all these things came together, and being a health coach, like I was telling Shikha, I've still not defined what it is, but as of now, health coach appears to be
You
the
defined it
closest
now. We have gone live
tag.
on Facebook. You
Sorry.
defined it. You defined it just right now by going live on Facebook. So you are a health coach.
So that has been a very long-winded journey, but I'm so glad I'm here. And you two have been so instrumental in me getting where I am. Like, you all kept pushing me, you all kept picking me up whenever I was feeling low. So,
I think
like,
that's what it is.
that's
That's what the village does, and that's what we created. I think we have created it with a lot of effort. We can keep saying that, just happened, but it was created. It was created by leaving our egos behind. It was created by putting other people in front. It was created by understanding that this is the best for all of us. And more than that, this is the best for our kids because they had something to grow together with, and we could do that. And that's the important part about the village. And why we are here today is we are actually standing like three of us here to tell people that so what if the village is missing now, let's create one. Let's create one. And it's possible. All of us are in our 40s yet. You guys are much young, like not much, but yeah, you're definitely younger than me.
You're an old soul, like I keep telling you.
I'm 40 years old soon in 3-4 months.
45 years ago, mentally.
Yeah, so I'm 40 years old, and at this age, to find connections like these, to find somebody you can rely on. I think for me, the tearing part was I don't know how will I separate myself from Shaurya when the second child will come. I was not crying because my water broke. I was not crying because there was a pain, or I was not crying when my stitches went okay. But I was only crying that where should I leave my child who like does not feel that the mom is gone for a night, even if for a night or 2 nights. I don't know how many nights I would be gone. So for me, like when I was going down the lift, my only thing was like Shaurya, and like Shaurya, this was the first time I was being away. Even if I've been called an obsessed mom, I've never left him and gone. But that was the day, and somewhere behind I also knew you guys were there. And you guys were there, and I knew that probably he'll not even come to know that I'm gone. And I remember Krupa sharing the video when he announced it to Shaurya, oh, you had a baby brother. And I think the same was for Krupa as well when Rishi was being left behind. How do we have
I remember
having so many messages, morning, come on.
exactly. It was
Yeah.
middle of the night. It was actually midnight when Rahul and I sat in the car with my dad, and the first thing I did was message the two of you
Yeah.
that I have to rush. I didn't want to wake you up. Anu had told me that whatever time it is, just wake us up and tell us that you're going. But I said, let them sleep. I'll need them more in the morning to help with Rishi. So I messaged you all quickly that it's time. We are heading to the hospital. Just this is my mom's number. This is the helper's number. Just figure out whatever they need. And I knew I didn't have to worry about anything because you guys were there.
Yeah. So that's why this now the pulse of the mother, because I think we three became a village as mothers, and we've raised these three beautiful boys for last 5 years, and we'll definitely have those as special years for us. But the fact is that this book is going to become that inspirational book where I think I've been talking about the ripple effect on children, on bad image, or sometimes you're talking negative. I think even that got protected. If I became negative, Anu will say, shut up, just forget about it. If Krupa became negative, so he's like, just forget it and let's go and do something, and we'll taking him away. If they saw me frustrated, like they picked up the child and they're like, just go take her, so what happened was the village also protects from that ripple effect on children, because the frustrations are there, right? The frustrations are there. And by raising them together, we were also protecting these children. And when we thought that was getting too much, we just took them away so that they don't have to see the frustration. They don't have to go through this frustration. And the teaching part also, like teaching Kabhi to have dal. Shaurya would learn how to see a Hindi movie, which like I could have never seen, and they would just keep laughing at me because till today, my niece here and saying, Shaurya is not allowed to see Hindi movies. I said, no, he has seen Hindi movies, 5 of them. Because I can very proudly say, because they always think that Shaurya doesn't see Hindi movies. Krupa has brought in a lot of stuff, by making them sit down, getting that craft, work, etc. So this village has been a very special thing, and why I'm again and again insisting on that is because even if this was created for mothers, even if mothers decided to create this, not out of blood relation, not out of sitting and saying, I'm all alone, nothing is happening, what do we do? Even if we made this effort to walk to the parks, to find our people, to join hands, I think a lot of things will get solved and she can get through this phase easily. And the self portrait, both of you have also gone through the resistance sister that I keep saying about self portrait. We don't want pictures, and only your picture now taken, because just a blessing that I could take some okay pictures or great pictures. But the fact that all of us have been hiding from wanting to take that picture, and this movement is all about that. If you, Anu, and I'll then go to Krupa, if you wanted to say something today through your self-portrait story, just close your eyes and feel, what will you say? What's that one picture that comes in your mind? If I say, Anu, your self-portrait into the book, because I think you're my, honestly speaking, the first corporate person I've gotten right now, and your journey is different. So that's why I'm keep constantly insisting, because we want all shades of mothers in this book, 100 shades of mothers. What is the first thing that comes in your mind if I tell you, um, you need to give one inspirational story, so that when you know, what would that picture be?
Shika, for me, it'll be balance. I know you guys know that I have this small placard on my.
Come closer, come closer.
You know that I have a small placard in my office which says I'm in the business of balance. For me, it's balance, right? Having a wholesome life. And a wholesome life for me is my work, my friendships, right? Like, whatever be the work, my friendships, my family, like all of that goes together, right? And so if there has to be one way, right, to think about me, or one way that I think about myself, right, it's in the business of balance, right, in bringing everything together, right, and living that wholesome life. That's very important to me. And I think the one thing, Shikha, that as we were talking about ripple effects, right, I think we've protected each other from our own lows, right? We've protected each other from our own lows. We've enjoyed our highs, because there have been times then we are standing alone, be it a birthday or an achievement, right? We felt that we need a pick me up, we need somebody to give that high five, and we've been there to sort of give that high five to each other when we needed it, right? And I think in addition to the ripple effect, I think at the heart of the village is that genuine want for good to happen to each other, right? And so we, like, all three of us have flexed as needed, right, for that, to make space for that good, right? Like, for me it could have been a corporate career, and for you it could have been those assignments with a tiny baby in tow, right? For Krupa it could have been that soul searching. But we've all sort of, because we were so invested in each other's growth, right, and each other's happiness, that we found that space to pick each other up, right, or make space for that. So I think that for us was heart of our village, right? And so for me, my my self-expression is balance. It's a wholesome life. It's never one thing over the other.
Yeah, and I think we've been pretty lucky that. But for you, Krupa, what would be that one picture if you had to depict yourself with that one picture? Like, if I tell you that you need to inspire hundreds and lakhs of women with your one picture, what would that be?
I still don't have a visual of that one picture, but I would say if it's a term or a phrase, I'm thinking in words, it would be work in progress. Uh, because I consider myself, I don't think you ever really arrive at a destination in life. So it's constantly work in progress. And now I've started measuring myself by, the growth. Uh, I'm a different person today than I was 1 year ago. And I have learned so much. I have grown so much. Maybe some of it I have something to show for. Maybe some of the learnings I don't have anything to show for today. But I have learned and I have grown, and I'll always be work in progress, and I'll always be striving to take myself to the next level. And it's only my past that I'll be comparing myself with, and not the conventional measures that we sometimes put on ourselves.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
work in progress is the term I would give for myself.
If you keep saying the word conventional so many times, that I am the most unconventional human being born
I
on.
know. No, I had a conventional past, which is why for me, that's the point of reference.
Unconventional. I was like, you're unconventional, remember, and not in a good way. Like, I was always considered as this crazy. Within 10 days I said I can't do this office work, I left it. And today I wonder, like, if I would have actually done that, uh, I don't know whether I would have succeeded, not succeeded, but it's just that all of us are so different, and if we can figure this thing out sooner or later or whenever. We have some of our friends trying to say something here. Bhavneet is saying, when I came back from France, family members said, stay near work. I said, no, my village is near PSN. I won't be able to survive anywhere else. Anu being a big part of that village. Vinu is also here trying to cheer up Anu. So Anu is our superstar here. I mean, we were also in PSN. I don't know why everybody's cheering up Vinu and Bhavneet know us as well. But ठीक है. We shall We shall
Very
accept.
jealous.
We shall accept that as well. It's okay. You can cheer us. I think they will, now that I've said it, because it would be nice to take our names in, because it's all Anu, 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 Anu coming. Anyway, I'm just troubling Anu because I love that. And so I'll ask you a very simple question now, which is very simple. But when you went absolutely on your knees, and there are times, Shika, you are a celebrity. She's writing. Vinu, I think Shika, you're a celebrity. Thanks, it makes me feel better, Vinu. I'm feeling much better now. So uh, like when the time came, and sorry, Francis is here. I want to say that Francis is another person who's not found village amongst immediate proximity, but she's found village virtually, and I'm definitely her village. She doesn't even know it. I'm definitely Francis. She's one of my pillars, and I'm definitely her village because I feel very very I just feel Francis with so much love, and I just keep saying that Francis, whatever I did to you guys, I feel I'm doing it to Francis as well, because I don't know what connection I have. So it's even transcending virtually now. So when you were down on your knees, like that one thing that came, like when you just don't want to even hear any lectures, when you don't want to say, forget about all this lecture bazi, forget about this upliftment, forget about all this nonsense. When you're just down there at that moment, what is that one word that comes to your mind? What is like that one thing that is wanted, because every mother wants that. I just want to hear it. I want to see if it's common to mine. What's that one word that comes to you when you're down right there on your knees and saying, "Ab nahi hota hai. I can't do it anymore. Today I can't do it."
Space, Shikha. It's peace and sanity, right? It's just space. The space to breathe, because we all have it in ourselves to figure it out. But
Yeah,
you just need to breathe. That's it.
yeah. For you, Krupa?
Says the kids, uh, when I'm down, when I'm low, and I need to come up. Who do I need to come up for? What is the kind of role model I want to be for them? How do I want them to see their mother? What do I want them to learn from me? So
Supposing this
that's
chatter is
something.
not there, sorry, I'm cutting you. I'm just saying, supposing this chatter is not there, and you are absolutely real down to pits, and that point comes. Why I'm probing this is because it happens to all mothers, and these mothers do not accept it. It happens to each one of us. We are totally down, and we just keep holding it in, saying that we can't feel that if we don't, if we this thing. What is that one thing that happens that, like, you let go of everything, and that one thing happens that I'm totally down on my knees. That's the one thing I right now need. That's it. That's what I need. कुछ नहीं चाहिए. मुझे ये चाहिए right now. This is what I need. What would that be?
For
I
my
can't hear you.
journey, for me and my journey, it was answers. I was seeking answers to some very serious questions. So I always kept hoping for, someone to show me the light, or me to find out the light within myself to figure out where do I go from here. So that
Yeah,
was one thing that kept
just
me
gave me
going. Like,
goosebumps
what's
to say that, finding answers. Vinu just said, keep muttering, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. It happens to a lot of mothers. We all keep saying, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And since I've gone into this project, I'm just like, why is it so painful? And it has been so painful. Nobody's talking about this. This too, like that thing. Like for me, the word that comes is, I don't do it enough. I'm absolutely guilty of not reaching out for this word. But for me, it's a support. At that time, I totally need this support, and that support could be, take away my kids from me for 5-10 minutes. Just take them away, take everybody away. Just give me my music, give me my car. I just need to go. Like for me, it's just that. Like, but not take away my kids saying that, oh, they're a problem. But take them, I want to give it to them to some safe place, and I say, here they are, and I don't have to worry that their food is not going to be taken care of, their stuff is not going to be taken care of. I will go with a lot of peace of mind that I've handed over my child to somebody who exactly knows how I handle my child, who exactly understands my child, and I'm handing it over, and I'm just leaving. And Frances has the same experience with her friends, that she said she's been a godmother to a lot of friends' kids and everything. And today, when Frances need, her friends offer to take Frances' kid away, and she can just take that with her. So for me, it's definitely that, and I'm guilty of never asking for that help. And that's why this project is making me more brave to say it. Okay, and that's it. I really need you to give me a pause. And without a guilt saying, not that Shika doesn't like her child, what is wrong with her? She's not playing with her. Look at the child. I'm just like, if I do not get this, I will not be able to operate. And just to come to that without a guilt is a very big achievement for many, many mothers. To say, I'm shutting the door and I'm just not going to open it for 20 minutes till the time this wave doesn't settle down. And I don't want to say this too shall pass. I totally want to live that pain and I totally want to cry and I totally want to break down. And I'm like, I can't do it anymore. And why me? And then get up and say, okay, not done. This has passed. Let's move on. But we don't even give ourselves those 20 minutes to break down because we can't. Because we all have this pressure of what will our children think? What will they think? If there something happens, our family will think, our friends will think. We don't give ourselves that. And that's why ultimately, when this camera comes and shows you that person who's so tight, who's so, losing everything, which is like a shine part of their face. They don't want to see that. And they say, don't take my picture. The first thing they look at it and say, no, my picture, I'm not photogenic. Or I don't like my pictures. So like somebody recently said, I don't like my pictures. What's the big deal about pictures? Like, what's the big deal? It's just pictures, right? Why do you have to make such a big deal about pictures? So it's just, I don't like pictures. It's nothing to do with bad self-image, nothing. So I said, okay, if I gave you a day and I came for a shoot and I shot, because I am capable of doing that, I very proudly hold that now, saying that I'm capable of seeing light in you that you don't. If I gave you your picture that made you shine so much, what are you going to do with that picture? She was just quiet. She's like, I said, are you going to throw it in the dustbin? Saying it's not a big deal. She's like, I said, what are you going to do? Honestly, tell me. She's like, I'll make it my DP. I said, exactly. We'll put it up in the wall and you'll show to the world that I'm a queen. It's you're not taking your pictures because you don't think that you deserve that shine, that light, that spotlight. I don't know of anyone who will get a brilliant picture and will throw it in the dustbin after knowing this is the best picture of their life. Nobody will do it. They will put it on the wall because they've never seen themselves shining. And that's why it's very important for this project to see these women in these different lights and these different shades, because I'm telling them to release whatever you're trying to say through your story out, and this camera will not get that chatter back. And you know what's happened to me, and you both are mothers, and I must tell you this, I don't know whether it will happen to you. It's happening to me. Like all people are asking me, how are you getting this time? You know why I'm getting a lot of time to do this? Because my chatter is gone. I realized this chatter was while I was packing something, this chatter was while I was wearing something, this chatter was in the bathroom, this chatter was with the camera, this chatter was in the. I was like, how much chatter is there in the head about everything? Like everything that you're doing. And the minute you drop it, you suddenly have 3-4 hours extra here because this chatter is only occupying you the whole day. And I suddenly have those 4 hours extra because I'm not, I see the chatter coming, I'm like, forget about it, just do it. Forget about it, just do it. Forget about it, just do it. Resistance is absolutely dissolving, and I think by the time the 100th interview is done, my resistance would have hopefully gone, and I have a lot of time. So I can stand up today as a mom of very two young kids saying that my chatter is going, and the chatter takes away a lot of time from us. So if we can dissolve this through this project, we would have done a lot of good for a lot of moms. And if our moms can be all posy, and they can be all about, because again, different moms have had different rides. Some have had very, very intense ride. Their childhoods have been not so great. They're carrying so much. But everyone will release when this book gets released. These 100 moms will just release. And then it's not going to be their story because they've released it. It's not their story anymore. It's only when it's in your secret diary, this story, this is yours. This is going public. And this is going to go out in the world. This is just not your story because it becomes story of every mother who's going to relate to your particular story, whichever story they relate to, it becomes their story. And then they will release it further by saying, let go. So that's the mission. And I get my goosebumps when I say things. I don't know how I say it. So what are your dreams? And if I say that I am granting you, like this, some magical stuff has come to me. And Anu, there's one dream that I want you to say that out loud because it's going to go in the book. It's called 100 Self-Portrait, 100 Dreams. What's your dream?
I think my dream is fulfillment. It's sort of living my journey beautifully, right? It's not a destination. It's nothing. It's about having, a lot of enrichment and upliftment, and for others, for yourself, for everything. Just living that journey nicely, right? And just fulfillment. That's my dream.
And Krupa, what's your dream?
Mine is going to sound a little beauty pageantish.
Yeah, but I'm trying to sound like this woo-woo person for past 1 month. Yeah, yeah. That, oh, you just
But
put your
you
dream.
are an old soul. It
No, no,
comes
you put your
naturally.
dream into this book and it will come true. Yeah, I'm just sounding like this crazy woman. Saying you the minute you put your dream in this book, it's going to come true. So I am behaving like this silly woman, but that's okay. That's me.
And I really, really hope this dream comes true for all of us who inhabit this planet, humans and other animals, because the purpose that I've found is a three-in-one, dream where better health for us humans, better, not better, saving animals' lives by the billions, uh,
Say that again.
and better health for the whole planet. Because if the first two things happen, the third one, the earth is going to be healing if we heal ourselves with the right kind of food, which does not include animals. So it's going to be a win-win-win for everybody, for us, for animals, and for the earth. So that's my dream.
I know I've been saying that very often. So I was about to say something. I totally got lost with what I was trying to say when you were speaking. Something came into my mind. And what was it that came into my mind? I just got to this high and then I just like get lost sometimes. What I'm saying is that the dreams of these mothers, yeah. So I was trying to say that the mother pulse that I've realized in the last 2-3 interviews of this earth, as nurturer, and I'm saying it very boldly, is a very painful one. We say Mother Earth, but the mother itself is in a lot of pain right now. And how is this going to go on that the nurturer itself is passing on pain to the next generation? If she doesn't heal herself, she cannot do anything. There'll be no saving because we don't even have a time to go out in the garden and do anything because like let it go. Yeah, we are like so frustrated. This chatter is like taking all our time. Who's going to go and grow some plants outside? And when we don't grow plants, the kids don't grow plants. When kids don't grow plants, then things don't happen and they don't learn and then they just keep moving forward. So like even saving animals, we need to make that effort out of this such a called busy city life that we've made ourselves to walk out and say, let's save this, let's save that, and they will follow us, right? But if we don't solve ourselves, if we just keep pushing that one moment where I just spoke about, when I just want to without guilt say, give me 20 minutes, I will be back. But 20 minutes, can I ask for it? Yes, you can. Without guilt, yes. Do you still love me? Yes. Will you love me if I leave? Yes. Go for it. And that's where the village was a very important part. And I definitely miss it now. I'm just like, but I'm still very, very thankful
I
that I
think,
have.
Shikha, the beauty of the village is all those questions that you just said that happened with a second of an eye contact.
Yeah, yeah.
Wasn't too
Oh, yeah.
much to be said, it was an eye contact, and we know that, you need space to breathe, you need to come back up,
And
right?
I wish this happens to many, many women that they can build this village and they can, and that's why I want to bring both of you together in the book to take this message because it's like this book is not about us. I say it again and again. This book is not about these 100 women. These 100 women are only showing different shades of what is possibility to shine. Some are going to be starting their journey brand new and will be finished by the time the 100 days are done. Some are already achieving it at different levels, but all the 100 moms are going to just say that it's possible. And we so together, when you both come into this book, I'm part of the book, so I'm with you anyway in spirit in that thing. But together, if you come in this book, the story of this village is very important. And I don't know how we put this message across, that do not underestimate it or do not say that I don't have time to do it. Make time to create this village, make time to ask for help, make time to heal yourself so that we can go further and our generations ahead can get some solace from the madness that we are energy wise putting into this whole energy is so negative. And it's getting, I was reading somewhere today as well that you're highly mistaken if you think everything is nice. There is this force that is working against us all the time and we have to shut it and we have to put it, it's the place that it deserves. So stop thinking that everything can become nice by loving it, everything can become nice by nurturing it. We have to just put it down and whatever it takes. And this book is the first effort that whatever it takes, just put that negative energy away from you so that our children can be, they're all growing up in a beautiful shade. And we also have beautiful pictures. And this silly camera, which I love a lot, is not scaring us anymore. So I think we have a lot of comments coming here. Bhavni, it happens big time. I need my alone time. Just get out of the house and drive and sing aloud. Thank God that I am able to do it. Francis says we have strong friend support system and we need to use it without feeling guilty. Yeah, so I have be a lot of comments too, and lots will join in later. So thank you so much. I need to put this interview down because all the people I bring in, I like to talk to them and I can keep talking to them after the live is gone. And I love you guys and thank you for being that village and proving it that you don't like really need to be born in a village. You can create it, and being that support and giving me more kids than like I could bear, like they all, how I feel for them. I just missed hugging them in one big hug, and I'm just like dealing with tantrums together. I miss that because that was the fun part of being with you guys.
Yeah, I think, the visual of you walking and like, 10 kids behind you will stay with me forever.
I remember that, like you were saying that she's walking in front and there are 7 kids because I just love that. And the fact that everybody trusts me with that, it itself is a very big gift that I was trusted by these kids. In spite of her madness and her such a unorganized world, she can manage kids pretty okay. So that thanks for that support, and I love you guys. Thank you for doing what you do, Shikha. Is what we know. I know.
And this movement of yours is really, really powerful. And kudos to you for a concept that is very difficult to grasp. You're able to bring it to life and you're going to make it tangible. It'll be in lakhs and lakhs of people's hands. So, more power to you.
I
And
want
we're
to make
lucky to
it.
be part of this project.
Oh, you had to be, and from when you said lakhs and lakhs, I just said thank please, Soja. It should happen because I want this. I'm saying that the 100 dreams in this book, I want them to come true because each one of them have so much impact. So much more impact is going to be made when these 100 women stand up and say, we are going to make sure that we live our life fully and stop this chatter. I think a lot of good work will be done. And during COVID, rather than getting sick in our mind about talking about COVID, some good work will be done. And I think it's worthwhile this time lockdown, and we would have spent it in a good way. So I hope that happens. That's become my dream, these 100 dreams to come true. And I love you guys. And I shall go off live. And we know we miss you as well in PSN. You left long time back, but we definitely miss your classes that you used to do. And take care. Bye. Love you guys. I just don't go off. I'm just going to go off live.